All right, Grizz Nation, we are back, and we're recording this on a Tuesday,
Yeah.
because of just other things that have happened in our lives. So, Luke is back from vacation, and I'm just back from vacation as well. So, we are going to get into the championship preview this week and everything that has come about with that. Preview the teams and just give you a look and give you some keys and yeah, go from there. So I can't believe it's already. It feels like it's like been a long time coming,
Yeah.
but it feels like it just happened yesterday that we were in the semifinals and we won, but it doesn't as well because
Yeah.
that's 3 weeks.
I'm glad I was able to go on vacation because it kept my mind off of it. Because otherwise, I think it would be a lot more difficult and
Yeah,
like being jittery and stuff. But yeah, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. And I think it's cool. Like the Montana Grizz page has been putting out all the different videos from the
yep.
games and stuff, kind of like highlighting the season. So, like yesterday, when I was on my way back to South Dakota, I was watching the videos, and actually it was funny. I'm in Dallas Worth Airport coming back to South Dakota, which I'll be flying back there on Saturday. I was watching the videos and stuff. I'm just like, okay, now I'm ready. Now this week's gonna take forever.
Yeah. Hopefully they have like some type of a hype video. That would be awesome too.
Oh, like they've been putting out so much good stuff this
Yeah.
year. My guess is we'll get a hype video. It wouldn't surprise me if they don't. So they're having Grizz Fest on Saturday night down in Frisco.
Okay.
So the band's gonna be there, Monty's gonna be there, and like a bunch of stuff. It wouldn't be surprising me if they didn't drop the video at Grizz Fest on
Okay.
Saturday night, like to hype everything. I could see that happening. Or they could drop it before, but I guarantee you something's coming.
Yeah.
Just because of the good content they've been putting out.
Where's that? Do you know where that's going to be for everyone listening?
I do. I tell you what, let me find out real quick here. And I will let you know.
Yeah, because let people know that because there's been a couple of people that have kind of asked me, and I'm like, I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
On like what bars that they're going to be at, or what areas they're going to be at.
One thing I'll let you know, like, well, here, let me give you this one first, because this just got posted just a little bit ago. Oops, hang on. Down in Frisco, for people that are going early, there is going to be like a bunch of parties and stuff going on. And I just had it. Let me find it here. Here we go. Oops, not that one. Sorry.
That's right.
Come on. It's on the Montana Grizz fan page, though. We're starting to get people posting it.
Oh, okay.
They're actual local Frisco people that are going to be holding parties, and they're posting different things. And like, if you're a Grizz fan, you can come and like they'll give you a discount if you wear Grizz gear and stuff. Different things like that. I'm so close here. This is terrible radio.
It's okay. This is a podcast. We can cut this out.
Okay, here we go. So there's different places that they're saying that they're confident you can run into other Grizz fans and have Grizz gatherings. There's Bender's Sports Bar and Spirits in Dallas, Frisco Bar and Grill in Frisco, Thirsty Lion in Dallas, Rock and Brews, that's in the Colony, Texas. And if you show this page, they'll give you 15% off your check.
Oh, wow.
There's a little thing that says that. There's Stadium Sports Grill in Dallas, Texas, and then Tailgaters Snookered in Frisco, which I think that Tailgaters is right next to the Comfort Inn in Frisco.
Okay.
So those are all places where they're like, Grizz fans come and, party with us. There's another place called Bottle Rockets Bar that is also giving discounts to Grizz fans if you show up with your Grizz gear. Holy cow, and there's a bunch of pictures. It looks like a Dave & Buster's and ESPN
that's cool.
Together. So there's a lot of stuff going on down there if you're looking. So go to the Montana Grizz fan page too, and they have people are posting things there. But
awesome.
I'm going to find the actual Grizz Fest because they're selling tickets for right now on the alumni site. So if you're going down, you can go and buy tickets for it. I'm not sure how much the tickets are, but they are for sale on the alumni site. So, okay. Nope. Here we go. Okay, so pregame party. Okay, yeah, so they're gonna have the pregame party, Grizz marching band, and all that at this Grizz Fest. Where the heck is it at though? Nope. Gotta click on the right link. That would help. Okay, here we go. Game tickets. Okay. So Grizz Fest is at Rough Riders Ballpark at 7300 Rough Riders Trail in Frisco, Texas, 75034. I'll say it again. 7300 Rough Riders Trail, Frisco, Texas is where Grizz Fest is going to be. And that's going to be from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. It's basically a big ass pep rally.
Okay.
If you're a part of like the charters and stuff like that, the hotel everybody's staying at is the Hilton, and motor coaches are going to leave from there at 4 to take us all to Grizz Fest and back.
Okay.
That way you can go and party and have a great time and not have to worry about driving. But for anybody staying in Frisco that wants to go, you can go to Grizz Fest and
buy a ticket while you're there or something and then get in.
You can buy it there. You can also buy them right now off the alumni site. They're selling them.
Okay.
So just go to the Grizz alumni page and you can buy them there.
Awesome. Sounds like an awesome time. I'm bummed that I won't be down there, but if you guys see Luke, definitely say hi to him, and I'll be in there in spirit, man. So
I'm looking forward to actually meeting a lot of the people that listen to this pod
at
Grizz Fest and other places. Just another little thing of, I guess, to help people out here. They do have the clear bag policy at the stadium. It says that you can have a clear plastic, vinyl, or PVC that do not exceed 12 inches by 6 inches by 12 inches. So you can also do a 1 gallon Ziploc bag and they'll allow that in. So if you want to carry that. They'll also allow a small clutch bag, 4.5 by 6.5. So just for everybody to know, I mean, I'd hate for someone to be like, oh crap, I can't get in because I have my purse or whatever it may be. I think Grizz is that way too now. Most places are that way.
A lot of them are like the clear bag. Yeah.
Yeah. So. And then there's a whole bunch of non-permissible items like, just don't be dumb. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. A lot of Grizz fans were recording this Tuesday night. I still have my tickets, even though I've bought them. There was some issue with AXS who lets you download the tickets, but the Montana Athletic Department put a thing out today in Grizz Tix that they're supposed to be delivering them Wednesday by noon. So you'll probably be listening to this pod when you hear it, but you should have it by then. If you don't have it then, call the box office. But until then, they're like, please hold off because everybody else has been calling them. Me too. Just to make sure, because you're like, hey, where is this email? And even though I have an AXS account, they're not downloading in there yet. So there's some issue there. They're about to. It's supposed to be good, and they're gonna push them all out. So we'll have to see what sections we're all sitting in and how close we are to the field. So that'll be cool.
Awesome. Well, that looks like a cool stadium though too, like where there's probably not going to be a bad spot where you're at. So
that's what I've heard. So last year I bought 4 tickets thinking that I thought we had the team and we were going to go, and I had to sell them. And luckily I sold them to a friend of mine who went down there, and they were in the corner of the end zone, and he said it was amazing. They walked around and he goes, I don't think there's a bad seat. And that's what I've heard from other people who have gone, is that anywhere you sit in there, it's a great stadium. So.
Yeah. So cool. Well, any other updates on tickets or anything like that you can think of?
I don't have anything there. One thing I did notice is to support the team in the NIL, there's a lot of guys putting out merch on Twitter. I saw Ryan Wilson just put one out.
Yep.
And we know Junior's got stuff. Cliff's got stuff. More and more guys are doing that. So that's a great way to support our players.
Exactly.
And keep them here is by supporting their when they're selling T-shirts and things like that. So, man, go out there and buy them. And like, especially for like kids and stuff. How cool is it to be wearing like a Clifton shirt or junior? Or, you know, I think that's awesome. I know that they did. He had a signing autograph session down at the M store here.
He did
last weekend, which was
last week.
Yeah. So some friends of mine I know took their kids by and stuff, and I think that's awesome that he's doing that. So
yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, and I shared Riley Wilson's thing on our Twitter as well. So definitely go support him. There are updates with rosters and stuff. We're probably not going to get into that. We really just want to really focus on the championship preview. So in the off season, we'll do another podcast updating on the roster and the moves and who's committed and who hasn't.
Yeah.
That's not going to be this episode. This is just going to be dedicated just the championship preview. So
yeah, I agree. That needs its whole episode of what happened on signing day, early signing day, and there's been some other commitments and stuff after that. So.
Exactly, and there's going to be some more, and it's just going to have to be its own entity. So, but man, we got a big one this Sunday. This is going to be a hard test, guys. 14-0, South Dakota State, defending national champion. You're going to be hard to, if you're not a Grizz fan, to see someone that's going to be picking the Grizz. Is it impossible? No, it's not impossible because I think we've got a really good team. Are we going to have to play our best? Yeah, we're going to have to play our very best. This team does not have a lot of holes. I think Bobby has said that in some of the press conferences where it's hard to find a hole. It's going to reminds me a whole lot of what we did with Idaho and with the Cats, where we held the ball and we scored on them, but we made sure that we had the possession of the ball, make sure that their offense can't get clicking. And so just to give you some stats, guys, because I'm that person, that nerd for you. You've got 14-0, right? They haven't lost. They haven't lost since like something like 2022 when they lost to like Iowa.
It's a lot longer than that. Yeah, the last loss was to Iowa, and I think it was 7-3 or something like that.
Yeah, so pretty darn good. If your only loss in about 2 years has been to a FBS Big Ten school, so
in Iowa too. I mean, it wasn't like it was in Brookings.
So the strength of schedule. They're 21 and we're 25, so we've playing in the Big Sky, playing in the Missouri Valley, you're going to be playing like opponents, right? You're going to be playing two best conferences. You're going to be playing really good teams. One of the things that is going to be important is third down, right? Third down percentage is 54.8 for South Dakota State, 42.9 for us. That's 11 in the nation for the Jackrabbits. And so that's going to be really pivotal of how we do on third down. Now, we're third in the nation with our defense, which is awesome at 28.8%, and their defense is at about 34. So you're going to kind of see that kind of even out, but that's something that we're going to have to watch out for is they're big up front. Holy cow, they're big up front. So
they have a bunch of large offensive linemen that are going to be going to the NFL.
Yeah.
Like that's what they have. South Dakota State's been chasing North Dakota State for a while and, following their basic, game plan. And they have that now. I mean, it's kind of like that same type of player that we're used to seeing there is in Brookings right now. And they are very good.
Yeah. Very, very good. Yeah. Their passing offense, they're pretty balanced. Passing offense, they're at 225 yards per game. And let's see here. Rushing yards, I got it here, 230. So they're rushing, they're fifth in the nation. So they're pretty balanced, guys. They're going to ground and pound you, but they're going to also, when you're coming up front and kind of loading the box, they're going to throw it on you. And so that's
I can't remember the main running back's name, but he's
Isaiah Davis.
There you go, Davis. Yep. Davis is very hard to tackle.
Yeah.
Just watching him on the few games I have watched South Dakota State, if you got to wrap up, and you probably need 2 of you to bring him
Yep.
down. The thing you cannot do is arm tackle. If we start arm tackling, we're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah.
We have to, watch the reads. Again, we've said this all year, do the 111th. And when you tackle him, wrap up and hold on. And, the good thing is like our guys on defense swarm to the football.
Exactly.
That is going to benefit us to getting him on the ground.
Yep.
He's a horse, man. He's big time.
And then, you go into the red zone, right? When we played North Dakota State, and they were probably at the top, number 1 or number 2. South Dakota State is number 1. They're at 96.3% in the red zone. That's amazing.
That's like video game numbers. That's crazy.
Yeah, and compared to us, we're not bad. It's about 82%, but 96 is just incredible.
Yeah.
And so, looking at that, we've got to bend and don't break, right? We've got to be able to. When we have those red zone opportunities, we have to get touchdowns. And when they have them, we've got to turn them into field goals or nothing. And so something really to look out for there too. We talked about rushing yards. They're not allowing a lot of sacks per game, which they've got a good line.
Yep.
And so, their defense, go ahead.
I was just saying their quarterback too. He reminds me of, I hate to say this, kind of Dave Dickinson-ish. Like,
the
way he's got eyes in the back of his head, knows how to move out of the way. The kid he's an amazing quarterback. I feel like he should win the Walter Payton Award this year.
I think he's going to.
I think he will. Yeah. But he is so good. He's the best quarterback we've faced. Like we keep saying that because each week we face a better one. Well, guess what? This is the best quarterback in the nation in FCS, and we have to play him.
And he's only a sophomore too.
Yeah, he's a sophomore. Now,
isn't that nuts?
With all that being said, our defense has been showing up and proving people wrong all year.
Yep.
And I think it helps the fact that we're the underdog going in here. I think our team feeds off that.
Yep.
I would rather be the underdog in this situation because of the way that they fed off that. Every game that we weren't supposed to win, they've won this year. We have.
Yep.
So, there's for those people that are worried that, hey, we don't have a chance, we have a chance. We're going to have to play our best game. But, yeah, we do.
Yep, we do. Points per game, they're scoring about 38.3 points per game, averaging about 456 yards a game. One thing that we think we have the edge on is the kick return and the punt return. I think that we can kind of exploit that, where special teams, where hopefully we can hopefully they do punt it or kick to us.
We do have the Bergen factor.
Bergen factor, yes.
Sometimes, kind of like North Dakota State did, or some of these teams that they think they can. Or the best thing for us is when we back them up deep into their end zone. If we can get a stop back there, where they have to punt the ball because they need to try to flip the field, then they have to punt it to Bergen, and then the rest of our guys, set that whole thing up. I wasn't on the last pod, but man, Racanelli, that double block he made to help spring Junior to the end there against North Dakota State was just unbelievable. And that's the thing, is all those guys know their assignment and give it everything they have to help get him there. And that's how you win, man. That's championship caliber football. And we keep doing that sort of thing, the stars can align and we can put it together, a game plan together here that can win.
And you just want to keep it close, right? You want to keep it close to that third quarter where, man, if you can keep it close, then you can kind of get into the back of their minds like, well, this team's not going away. Yeah. This team hasn't had to play somebody where they're like, oh, man. I think probably the Villanova game is their probably closest one where they're like, man, we had to kind of barely squeak that one away.
Or, I hate to say it, the first game of the year against the Cats that they played.
Yeah.
In Brookings, where it was down to that out of bounds pass thing,
Yep.
So, I'm sure our coaches have watched that film too. Now, both of us are totally different teams than we were at the season.
Yep.
They've also improved, but there's that. There's a little chink in the armor there, and if we can find that chink, watch out.
Exactly. Well, and you kind of mentioned some of their players too, Luke. So let's go over some of their
Sure.
QB. Mark Gronkowski.
Yep.
I always want to say Gronkowski, but it's not. It's
Gronkowski.
Gronowski.
Yeah, Gronkowski.
196 of 286. A very efficient passer. 2,800 yards, 28 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's also got 349 yards rushing with 7 touchdowns running as well.
Yeah.
So he can get out and run it on you. He's a first-team All-American, first team on the Missouri Valley. Like you said, he's probably going to win the Walter Payton Award.
Should win the Walter Payton Award.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, just a downright good guy on that team as well. So,
he's their leader. He
Yeah.
is their leader. So.
He's got that it factor too, right? I think I saw like something where he hasn't lost a game as a starter,
but
except for the Iowa game.
Neither has Clifton McDowell.
No.
So yeah.
So there's, and we'll talk about Clifton because I think that he's got to have, and we'll go into that with some of the keys of what he has to do. But like you said, their running back Isaiah Davis. He's had 220 carries, which that's a lot of carries. That might play a factor, maybe.
Well, I know he was banged up, I think, for a few games this year.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that we got. Both teams getting 3 weeks. Guys are getting healthy and stuff.
Yep.
Hopefully. I've seen a lot of videos of our guys lifting hard, and it looks like they're working their tails off.
Yeah.
But I think for us, Gronowski, if we can hit him and kind of do what we did to Cam against North Dakota State and make it a long day for him, that's going to really benefit us. But if he has a clean pocket all day and we're not getting to him, that could be not good for us.
Well, and Luke, you tell me, you've been there before. You have a couple weeks off, right? And usually in football, you want to build up that with hitting. If you have 3 weeks off, doesn't that kind of affect that?
I would think so. So like back when I was there in 2001, when we went, you didn't get a week off. You went the next week. So it just was keep going. It was this. But Bobby talked about it. He said it's more like prepping for a bowl game. And for him, he's like, I think this is great because we can really prep for him. We can give him some time off, but then we're going to have to lock it up and hit too. Because he's done that all year where if he doesn't think the guys are, getting enough, we're a hitting team. We like hitting each other. They'll strap it up and hit each other to get, the fire going. So, I think it benefits us.
Yeah. Especially on our offensive line.
Yeah. I think for us more than even South Dakota State, it benefits us that we're getting this extra time for, like you said, our coaches to focus on them some more. And because we got some damn fine coaches, that have come up with some good game plans for both our defense and offense. And so for them to do that, and then also for everybody to get healthy and work and get stronger, because you're beat to, you got bruises everywhere. You're just, everybody's hurt on the team.
Yeah.
So this, that's like I said, seeing those videos of them lifting, man, everybody looks like they're feeling good and healthy, lifting hard. So that was good signs, I think.
Well, and and you're talking about the internet and on Twitter, like this week, you talked about the coaches, right? So today, I think it was like the 17-year anniversary of Boise State versus Oklahoma.
Oh yeah,
and Pease was the offensive coordinator. I was like, oh man, that just reminds me of those days too. So we've got some great coaches. I think that we'll have a game plan. But the Isaiah Davis, like we were saying, 220 carries. A little under 1,500 yards, 17 touchdowns, a little 106 average on the ground for him. If they don't have him, they've got their backup. Excuse me. Amar Johnson, he's got 119 carries, 751 yards, and he's averaging about 53, 54 yards a game as well. So if you don't hit him there, you've got 2 wide receivers. You got the brothers, right? You got Jaden and Jackson Janke. The 52 receptions for Jaden, 108 891 yards. Goodness gracious. 9 touchdowns. And then Jackson has 40 receptions for 752 and 5 touchdowns. So you've got those wide receivers that they get the ball to too. But that's not only what they have. They've got their big tight end.
What's his name? I was about to ask.
Starts with a H, a Hines or something like that.
I'm looking it up right now because
I forgot.
I never remember their names. Watching that kid play, I was like, "Oh God, another tall tight end," because we've had some issues with big tight ends, and
he's like 6'7", 280.
Yeah. This kid's a big boy. I'm looking him up right now. You keep going on the other side.
So we got those wide receivers, guys. If they're not going to be grounding and pounding you, they're going to get it to their playmakers. It's very much kind of like the same, like North Dakota State, right? It's not going to be. I don't think they run as many formations as North Dakota State does, but they do have the kind of the same kind of repertoire of like, hey, we're going to ground and pound, and then we'll get our big plays if we have to from throwing it a little bit. But they like to gash you with the run.
Mm-hmm. And they will. They gashed many.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
230 yards a game on the ground is pretty darn impressive to do that. So,
I mean, Albany found out quick that they didn't want to be there no more.
Exactly. Thought I had it here.
Okay. Zach Hines from South Dakota, 6'7", 260, senior. He is all of 6'7", too.
Jeez.
So that's the one thing that worries me because we've had, the Hayden Hattons of the world, who's not a tight end, but another tall receiver, like that go-to guy that's so big. Or like I think about Furman, that giant that they put in the back too, that they threw the ball up to when he's going down and just throws it up and he catches it. Well, that's this guy.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure we take care of him because that's an issue in the red zone. And that's part of the reason why they're so efficient in the damn end zone is because of this guy.
Yep. And so, that's the rough, excuse me, goodness, I'm going hoarse, of what they are on offense, guys. On defense, they're a good team, guys. There's not any holes. So you're going to be like, gosh, dang, they're just like awesome everywhere. Well, they are. Well, there's not a hole in sight.
Yeah.
Their offense is great. Their defense is great too. They're number 7th with passing, 164 yards a game. They're only allowing about 59 yards on the ground. That's number 1 in the nation. And so, it's gonna be, not 59. That's the red zone. So red zone defense, they're about 59.4. It's number 1 in the red zone. And then their defense is holding to 92.6 on the ground. So that is number 2nd in the nation for rushing defense as well. We're 102.8, which is 12th.
Yeah.
And so, they're getting about a little over 1.5 sacks a game. So that's 77. So if you're looking at getting pressure, they're not necessarily getting pressure. They're really just filling holes and getting you down, right?
Yeah.
A good sounding tackling team. And so it's what some of the guys that you're going to be looking at, right? You've got Jason Freeman. He's a 3rd-team All-American. He's their leading tackler. He's got 96 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, 3 fumble recoveries. You've got Isaiah Stallbird, 75 tackles. He's got 5.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 1 interception. Their main sack guy is Cade. I'm going to say his name wrong. Tirvier. He's got 20 tackles, but 6 of those are sacks. So he's the big guy in the middle. You've got their linebacker Adam Bach, 54 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. He's really good. You got Tucker Large, 43 tackles and 4 interceptions as well. So, wherever you go, that they're a good defense. It's not probably the best defense. It might be pretty close to the best defense that we've faced all year.
I think it will be.
Yeah.
The defense we faced.
I was going to say Furman might be the better front seven.
Yeah.
But overall defense, I think it's probably going to be them. But we're gonna have to if this defense is gonna bend don't break, kind of like what we do. One thing that they have showed is a running quarterback. They're going to be allowing some of those running yards, and I really think Clifton, he's kind of hesitated, right? He's kind of hesitated the last two games. The last game, especially against North Dakota State, he did not want to run the ball, which was so weird. So he's going to have to run this game. He's going to have to be able to force them to account for him and run on those third downs when he doesn't have guys open, to open up the floodgates of the other running backs and also those passing.
Well, I agree. And I think it makes me wonder if during North Dakota State, if they just felt like we weren't going to do as well with him running it or something, or it's possible he's banged up and they're like, you know what? We don't, I mean, it is the last game, but it's like, maybe this just isn't going to work. But with this game, there is no more games.
There's no more games.
And so if he's healthy and it'll work, we're going to try to, find any hole that we can.
Yeah.
And use Clifton the best we can. And like you said, that's one area that they have given up some yards to.
Yep.
So that, I think that could be, the thing that really gives us our edge is if we can get Clifton doing his thing, along with, if we can get Eli going too and Osmo, man, watch out. Like, even if they're just picking up 2, 3, 4 yards, but just to make it so they have to account for them, they can't just key on Clifton. As long as we can keep it so they don't just key on Clifton, and if they do that, we're smart enough to go, okay, you're going to put 3 on him, then we can go ahead and throw it to the flat, or bring Junior or White on an end around or something. But
yeah,
I think Clifton's going to be. I mean, a lot of this game and us winning is going to depend on him.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're going to
game he's had all year.
Yeah, for us to be able to have a shot at this, he's got to be able to run the ball because, like you said, Luke, and like I said, it's been proven that they've had a hard time with a running quarterback,
right?
And especially with this offense, you've got to be able to hold on to the ball, but you've got to be able to win on third down. And when you have a running quarterback that, hey, maybe gets flushed out and can get 3, 4, 7, those back-breaking runs, right?
Yeah.
Where you think you have him and he's just slicing and dicing you like he's been doing all year.
Right.
I think that's going to be really important for our offense just to kind of get going. Because I think right at the beginning of it, you're going to have a hard time getting rushing yards from the running back. I think they're going to try to shut that down, kind of like North Dakota State did.
Yeah, and they've done
going to have to
shutting it down all year. So
yeah, so you're going to have to kind of make sure that you get some running yards from the quarterback, and then when he does that, like you said, it's going to come down to him. He's got to make those passes, get it out to our playmakers. And get Bergen the ball, get Fonts the ball, get White the ball. And I think that we'll have a chance if we play our best game.
Well, and one thing, South Dakota State this year hasn't had to play from behind.
No.
At all. Really the only game that was close to that was, like you said, the Villanova game. But that was, I throw that one out because the weather was so freaking bad.
Yeah, it was like 40-mile-per-hour winds.
It was just insane.
Yeah.
So I mean those are just weird type of games. But that game, they were right there neck and neck. But if there's a way for us to get up on them in the scoreboard and quick, kind of like we did to Idaho this year and the Cats, and if we can do that, they're gonna have to play from behind. If that happens, they're not used to that. That's one thing they're not used to. So if we can figure out how to do that, that's huge.
Well, and I think it's like limiting their chances on the offensive side too. Is with that is you gotta keep them
drives.
Yep, and don't get that. Let them get that drive where they just start clicking, and it's like, oh man, you do not want that to happen.
Yeah. We just can't let that happen.
No.
So,
So I think that they're going to be fine where they're at. They've got the experience, right? They were here last year. They won it all. So they're going to treat this like a business trip, kind of like what we're going to do.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that if we play our cards right, I believe in our coaching staff of having a game plan where we're going to be ready for them. One area, guys, did you have anything else on their defense that you wanted to go over, Luke, before I went into kind of special teams?
No. I mean, the biggest thing is just, we got to take every opportunity we can to keep our offense on the field.
Yeah.
And just those long sustained drives. If we can do that, it's just going to make their day a long day. We can't have the opposite of it, basically.
Exactly.
Keep our defense out on the field and their defense on the field. Even if it's like, even if we're only getting, I hate to say there's a field goal out of it or something, but if we're getting down there and keep driving down the field and stuff and just eating that clock, that's really going to make it. We're going to take what they want to do and put it on them.
Yeah. And if we're getting field goals, you want those long sustained drives too. If you're not getting touchdowns, you better get long drives. So
we need the touchdowns. That's what we any points we can get, and if we can get points almost in every drive, that's going to really make a big difference for us.
Exactly. Special teams, guys, their kicker is Hunter Dustman. Is averaging about 61.3 on his kicks. He's their punter as well. He's averaging about 43.69. He's had 13 inside the 20. He's had 9 over 50 yards. He's only had 1 block. Field goal, he's also their field goal kicker as well. Hunter Dustman, 17 of 23, so he's about 73%. Pretty good from 20. He's 1 from 1, 5 for 5 from 20 to 29. He's 3 of 4 from 30 from 39. He's 8 of 12 from 40 to 49, and he's 0 of 1 for 50 plus. So his long was 49. And so if it's a close game, that could be kind of something that we look at as their field goal kicker. And then just also their returns, right? So Tucker Large is their punt returner. He's averaging about 18.86 yards an average. Their kicker was their wide receiver, but they haven't, and this is just their defense too. They really haven't had to have him. He hasn't returned a kick return since November 18th.
Punt return or kick return?
A kick return.
Oh, huh.
Well, so
they're scoring so much and not letting anybody score, which is the big.
Yeah, and there's some other guys that have been in there, so I don't know if he's hurt or not, but their main guy that's averaging about 23.5 yards an average hasn't had one since November 18th. So then they have a Grifton Wild that's about 25.62, and he's been doing the kick returns ever so often as well. So something to look out for. I do think that we have the special teams in our favor. I think that we've showed that this whole year.
Yeah, I agree.
In Bergen, we trust, right? And so I think that if you can get some momentum with that, I think it makes everything better. It makes the defense stronger. It makes the offense click.
Anytime he does what he does, it just gets the whole team fired up. It just flips that momentum so well. So I don't see them on their kickoff kicking to him. I think that they have the guy's good enough. He can kick it through the end zone. I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to kick it to him.
Where
kick return? I think a punt.
Yeah.
That's where we're going to get it.
Yeah. If we can hold them or pin them back and get our defense to stop them and they have to, punt out of their end zone or deep into their territory, that's where we're going to get that shot. And that's where Bergen does his best because we can set up the return and, get your popcorn ready down there in Texas and watch Bergen go.
Oh man. So keys for the game. Do you have anything else for the special teams or?
No, I think I just don't think it's gonna be really eventful on kickoff because I think they're gonna boot it out. But be ready. I mean, like it surprised me that the Furman game that Hauck Alston had a new return. All year, and he's like, I've had this on my desk all year, and I just decided to try it. And so, you never know. In games like this, you bring out everything you can because you're going to do everything you possibly can to give your team that edge so you can pull off the win.
Exactly. And I think you have the big games, you've seen that, right? A little wrinkle here, a little wrinkle there. So
yeah.
The keys of the game. What are your keys?
So, I mean, the one thing with the Grizz this year is we've played, I feel like we've played a lot more of these, hard and tough games on the road. So many games where we weren't favored to win, yet our team found the grit and got the win, figured it out, made it happen. I've heard people talking, the Grizz, they had 2 overtime wins in the playoffs where the SDSU is dominating people. And it's like, well, yeah, we did. I feel like our side of the bracket was a little harder.
Yeah, you can't look at that. you got to look at that.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is I feel like the Grizz are battle tested.
Yeah.
They can handle that game where if we have to go to overtime with these guys, this very well could be an overtime championship game if we're going to pull it out. I mean, it could be that type of game. I mean, I'd love to see the Grizz all of a sudden just pull what we surprised us like against the Cats in 37-7. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I didn't either. Yeah,
that would be awesome. I don't think that's going to happen, but if we can keep it close, I think our team has that extra, oomph because we've been in those situations in those hard games where we'll be ready to face the music and pull the win off.
Yeah,
or South Dakota might not be ready for it. They might be, moment might be too big for them. I don't know.
Yeah, and you mentioned like the basically who we've played, like those teams that we played. Furman, like they probably should have been a seed. North Dakota State probably should have been a seed.
Yep.
Like Villanova had no. Albany, they're great, but those teams probably, if they would have realigned those after seeing them,
with the seed they were.
What's that?
Wasn't Furman like
they were number 7th
seed?
Yeah, but that team was number 2 all year. Like they lose the last game of the year, and it makes them fall back. But it just you're not playing the same type of talent,
right?
And so, I think you said it, Luke, best. This team is a bunch of blue collar guys, right? Chip on their shoulders, and I think that's worked well for us all year. I don't want to be favored in this game. They play well from behind. They play well where, hey, no one expects us to do anything. Let's surprise the whole world here.
Yeah, they're playing with house money and going, let's bet it all in.
Why not us? Why not us?
Yeah, why not us? Like the U's putting out this thing, we believe. It's like, we believe. This is there's just something about this team. Like, you get these teams that feel special. That's like they all connect and like just they're all one. They're a true team. There's no individuals. They're just out there doing everything they can to make each other win and each other better. And that's how this team feels. Mm-hmm. It just has that feeling. So,
one of the keys of the game, guys, is going to be our defensive line, and their offensive line. Our defensive line has got to be able to get some pressure on the quarterback and make him nervous. It's going to be a really hard task. They're going to have to do something where they're going to have to keep Gubner fresh in there. Mm-hmm. He's going to be going up against some NFL talent, where
good opportunity for him to show his skill. That's
exactly. And I think that they're going to have to make sure that they keep an eye on him. Right? They're going to probably double team him like they have been.
Oh, I'm sure.
And so I really think that that's going to be a key to watch for. Can we get pressure on that quarterback? Can we stop the run well enough where it's going to throw them, right? It's going to make them nervous. It's going to make them feel, hey, they haven't been in this type of a situation. Make sure that their third downs are long third downs. They're not the short 1 and 2 yard gains, because then they can just make sure that they just run it down our throat. And then also just when we have the chance to score, we've got to score. We can't We can't do like we did against North Dakota State and do field goals. We have to score touchdowns.
Yeah, we can't leave any points out there. We got to get them all, and like you said, in the end zone.
Yeah. So those are kind of the keys that I had. It's going to come down to the fronts, like it always does, right? It's gonna, so
it usually does, and that's really for like our defense is their quarterback. If we can hit him, bang on him. I mean, even if we're not getting the sacks, but if we're putting him in the ground and making him like, oh crap, that's going to change the game. We got to get pressure on that quarterback because he's very good, but he hasn't been banged around a lot this year.
Nope, he hasn't.
If we can do that, that might throw his whole damn game off. And between our D line and our linebackers blitzing and whatever Ronnie Bradford can come up with, and how it's Timmy, they who knows? I mean, we could have some stuff. We could pull out some stuff they haven't seen all year and throw them off, and next thing you know, we're smashing them to the ground. Don't be surprised, I guess, when you're watching the game, if we see some stuff we haven't seen all year, and you're like, where was that? Because they're looking for, like we said, that chink. So we might change some stuff up going, hey, this is going to work. We know Entz just went to USC. Entz and Houck are pretty good buddies. I'm sure that even though we beat him, he went, hey, you're going to USC. Yeah. Give me what you got on South Dakota State. You guys know him better than anybody. Yep. So I'm sure there was a little trade in there just because they are friends. So, but our coaches alone, I mean, I think with the film and all this time, I mean, they have the time too, but I think for us, it's going to benefit us more than anything.
Well, and it's going to be really interesting on what they do. What do they change? Do they change up some offensive plays? Do we change our front?
Yeah.
I really truly think that 3 weeks is going to, like you've said, Luke, it's going to benefit us, right?
I think so. It's just if anybody is going to benefit, it's us. I feel like.
Yeah.
So,
and I just think if we can get pressure on them and just their offensive line or their defensive line, just shock them and say, yeah, we're here. We're going to smack you in the mouth, right? How hard you get hit the first time and how you react. Yeah. Let's see what happens, right? So
I agree. This team this year, especially on defense and offense, ever since the NAU game, we've been all right. We're not going to let anybody punch us in the mouth. We're going to take it to them. We're going to punch these mother in their mouth, and that's what it's going to be. And so that's what's going to happen. That's what needs to happen. Our defense got to go out there and just play like this is the last game of their entire lives, and leave it all on the line and bring the hurt to them. Like just start pounding on them and standing over them a little. That edge that we get where Clifton's doing that shoulder roll and our defensive guys are flying around and walking over people, and it's like, man, watch out when they start playing like that. You don't want to be playing the Montana Grizzlies.
No, you're not.
And you're gonna feel it.
And they're a great team, guys. But I'm so sick and tired of hearing about how awesome they are. They're a great team, and we've had some podcasts where we've done with their fan base and their podcast, and they're very nice. But I'm so tired of hearing how good they are. Like, we're a good team too. Let's prove to them that, hey, you haven't played anybody like the Montana Grizzlies.
I guarantee you, our coaching staff's like, what an opportunity we have.
Yeah.
To show the nation that we are the Montana Grizzlies. That's why I loved hearing that thing when Houck was like, there's a new dynasty coming, and they're wearing maroon. I was like, oh, man, like he's got me going. I'm all juiced up over here, freaking fired up. So he's gonna have the team. They're gonna be ready to run through walls.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be their team. I mean, we got some freaking dogs on our side that are just ready to go. I mean, some tough mountain kids and freaking farm kids that just,
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
So I had a question for you, Luke. Sure. And you've played, so, winter is coming. So winter drills is coming, right?
Winter conditioning, yeah.
Winter conditioning, yeah. What happens when you've made a long run? Do they push it back a couple of weeks? Like, how does that – what happens?
No, man, because afterwards it's go on to next year.
So they don't get a break between that? They just go right into winter drills?
Winter conditioning doesn't start until, like, usually towards the end of January, beginning of February, because that's when, like right now, all the kids are out from school. Like they're usually out until middle.
I think it's the 17th or 18th of January that they come back. So
winter condo usually didn't start, I think, until like beginning of February.
Okay.
So, yeah, they got a little time off, but then it's hey, let's go defend the national championship. You know, or like for us in 2000, we lost it, and you're like, okay, now let's go get it. We're not doing that again. So
yeah.
I mean, the guys are used to it. No rest for the wicked.
That's right, man. So, anything else that you got?
No, I mean, I'm pumped for this game. It just like I feel like there's no worries. It's like we have got nothing to lose. Like we're the underdogs. It's like no one expects anything, so it's like we have everything to gain and nothing to lose. And hell yeah, that's where I'd want to be. It's like tell me I can't do it, and then watch me prove it to you. So I'm fired up, man.
I can't wait to cheer on the Grizz. I can't wait for Luke you to go down there, and I'm super jealous. But
I know I wish you were able to come too. That's I feel fortunate because I am my brother and my dad who's in his 70s, and who knows how many more national championship games so he could go to. He's never been to one, so I'm like,
oh, awesome! Your dad's going to.
Yeah, so he's coming.
That's awesome.
We're all meeting down there on Saturday morning, and then we'll see anybody who's going to Grizz Fest. I will be there. We'll see you. Be happy to have a frosty beverage with anybody down there and talk some Grizz football. And yeah, cannot wait for Sunday, man.
That's gonna be awesome.
Awesome.
Well, I know I've got my score. You ready? You got your score there?
Yeah, I've had my score for weeks now, actually.
Okay. All right. You want me to go first or you?
Well, first, let me give you. We've been doing this all year.
Oh yes, the Versus app.
Versus app. So on Versus, they now have. Well, they've had SDSU as number 1 ranked all year. They do have the Grizz as 2. So we have moved above everybody, and we're number 1 versus number 2. But I ran it on a neutral site, and they have South Dakota State winning 30-13. So
that's over the betting lines. The betting lines last time I checked was like 12.5.
But if you recall, Versus has been wrong all year. They had us losing to UC Davis. They've had us losing to Idaho, Sac State, the Cats, Furman.
Sac State, didn't they?
Sac State, North Dakota State. It was like you name it, they've had us losing, and we have just proved them wrong. So, I'm kind of glad that they've been picking because that's been our MO all years.
Stay consistent.
But yeah, so I wrote this down with my bracket challenge, which we'll be finalizing this weekend too, getting a winner. But I had picked the Grizz 28, South Dakota State 17, and I'm sticking with it.
Okay.
I know that's probably farther apart than most would say, but I'm sticking with 28-17 Grizz.
28-17. I don't remember my score of my but I
tell me your new one, and I'll tell you what if it matters.
Okay, so I have it 24-21 Grizz.
Nice. You had in the bracket challenge Grizz 17, South Dakota State 14.
Okay, so I just added a touchdown for both of them.
So what was yours again?
24-21.
24-21.
And yours was 20 what?
28-17.
28-17.
I just went with it because that's what I picked, and I mean it's like so far we're doing all right on that, so I was going to stick with it. But I think it's going to probably be a lot closer. Like it's going to be like you're saying 24-21 or maybe like a 28-27, 28-24 kind of game.
Yeah,
it's going to be a damn battle, especially if the Grizz are going to pull it off. I know there's a lot of people in Vegas is picking South Dakota State by a couple scores. I don't think that's the team that we have and the prep that we get to have right now, man. I think that we're going to show them something else I didn't realize that got posted out there. This will be the first game the Grizz are playing on grass all season.
That's nuts. That's really interesting.
It surprises me, but here's the thing I don't want people to worry about. They play practice out the River Bowl every day, and that is grass. They are not. It's not like they never practice on grass. They practice on grass all the time, so no big deal. Hopefully, we've seen this. That's the only thing I guess worries me is we've seen some national championship games where that field's kind of crappy.
Yeah, I know, right?
So that's the only thing I'm hoping for both sides is I hope that they got the field good so that there's not like, turf popping up and stuff like that. So that for both teams, because we don't want to see a bunch of, guys getting hurt or anything like that.
No.
I want to see just a hell of a good football game. I think that's what we're going to get.
Well, and this is our first championship in Frisco as well. So
yeah. Before it was always Chattanooga,
and then I think we played we played different sites when it was actually because it was in Chattanooga, and then it was where was it?
For years, for the 2000s was in Chattanooga. Before that was in Marshall when we played
Marshall. Yeah,
we beat them, and it was their home game for them. Then the next year, Randy Moss shows up, but it's again a home game for them.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they went to Frisco, is because it is a neutral site.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish it's just funny. You got the Grizz and the Jacks from South Dakota, Montana. You got the Huskies and the Wolverines from Washington and Michigan. And both those teams are playing in Houston and Frisco.
Yep.
All these northern fan bases got to go to the South.
The South, yep.
I just think it's funny. But, yeah, I mean, pretty cool. The FCS National Championship on Sunday, and then you got the FBS on Monday. I think there are Grizz fans that are going to both that are going to go to that.
There you go.
And then drive down. I'm like, man, if I had the funds, that would have been cool to see that too.
That would have been.
Don't have the time off work after being on vacation and stuff. And yeah, so it's going to be awesome. So I was telling Adam this before the show, when I was down on vacation in Cozumel, like anywhere you go, you wear your Grizz stuff, you're going to run into Grizz fans. I walk into one of the bars at our hotel and I hear a Go Grizz. Walk over, and it's none other than J.P. Gallagher and his family, the mayor of Butte, Montana. And his daughter, who goes to the University of Montana, and she's going to go there for the game. And it's so cool. Sat there and talk Grizz football in Mexico, of all places.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I love how Grizz Nation is everywhere.
Oh,
everywhere you go, you hear. I mean, every airport I've been in on my travels just recently, I got Go Grizzlies. We're at Six Flags, got Go Grizzlies from people. I mean, it's awesome. I also heard if you're down in Frisco, the Shields there has a ton of Montana gear, like all over.
That's awesome.
So if you're looking for Montana gear when you show up there, Grizz Nation's going to take over that town. And
that town goes all out for this too. So I've heard that it's pretty cool how they support it, and the bars and just the atmosphere. So definitely going to get you some stories from you, Luke, when you come back, and we'll have a recap, guys. We'll have a recap of the game and break it down and be cheering after our victory. And but yeah, we'll definitely do that, and then we'll have some postseason stuff as well, going over roster moves and stuff that we've added there too. But can't wait for this game.
I know there's I think there's a bunch of Grizz fans already heading down there, so. Yeah. Wear your gear.
Truck's already there.
Yeah, truck's there. The truck was making cool watching the pictures and stuff. Truck's there. So, the guys are having their last practice today. I think they're having a walkthrough tomorrow.
Yep.
Wednesday, and then they're flying out. So, but yeah, it's man, I cannot wait. And if you're down there and you recognize me or something, say hey. I'd love to talk. I'd love to chat with anybody. Gosh, it's gonna be awesome. And where sometimes you go into games and you have a bad feeling, like I got such a good feeling about this.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it's like, it feels like the team's prepared, and just, again, everything seems to be lining up for us. So, I also report back because I fly out on Saturday morning out of Rapid City, South Dakota. And I would assume the plane should be full of Jacks fans heading there too, right?
Oh, I bet.
South Dakota. So I do know I've gotten texts from other Grizz fans that are in the South Dakota area. We're all on the same flight, so we're all wearing our Grizz gear.
There you go.
Back to see if we have if it's just a bunch of Grizz fans. Like I would be so sad to see, like, if there are Jacks fans but they're not wearing their gear. It's like, I hope that they all have their stuff on, because my bag isn't going to have anything but Grizz stuff in it.
It'll be interesting to see just down there in the stadium too, like what the ratio of Grizz and Jack fans are, how well, Grizz Nation travels well all the time.
We do. We've
always traveled well. And for how small of a school Montana is, it always amazes me how many Grizz fans are out there.
Oh yeah,
Just because,
everywhere.
like you said, like you get a Go Grizz. Whenever I wear stuff, I went to Michigan this last summer and I wore Grizz stuff, and they're like, "Go Grizz," and I'm like, "Yeah." You always find someone,
Yeah.
and so it's an amazing, amazing thing to be a part of that fan base.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's awesome. Can't wait for you. Can't wait for some stories.
Oh yeah, I
And
have tons of stories 'cause I'll be out everywhere I can, and yeah, and hopefully the best story will be Grizz W.
exactly. Oh man. Oh man. Well, guys, that's all we had for you guys. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you guys get your podcasts, especially on Apple. We've gotten a couple of you that have rated us and reviewed us, so we're up to I think 4.7 as our total average, and so 30 reviews. So definitely, if you haven't done that, do that for us. That helps us out greatly. Also, if you guys want to see these mugs on here, you guys can get us on YouTube at FCS Fans Nation podcast network. Subscribe there as well. They've got a lot of great content. They have a national show and then all sorts of other different podcasts there. So you can get us there. If you guys want to get a hold of us, you can get us on Facebook, our personal accounts, but you can also get us on Twitter and Instagram at fightonmontana as well. We love to hear from other fans. We love talking football, basketball. So definitely get a hold of us that way. And yeah, if you guys are going to the game, be safe. Definitely be safe and have a ball, man.
Heck yeah. Have a lot of fun.
That's right. And like always, go Grizz.
Go Grizz.